The San Francisco 49ers are going to be going to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. This game is going to be played this Saturday with an 8 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff on Fox. The Packers are a 5.5-point favorite going into this matchup. The 49ers defeated the Dallas Cowboys 23-17 last week in the wild card round. When you look at how that game started off, you thought that the 49ers were not only going to win, but they were going to win convincingly. But the Cowboys, to their credit, were able to find a way to crawl back into the game, and it was a nail biter. I was watching this game and I ended up going to get me something to eat. Then I had a buddy of mine text me and say, "Hey, JT, watching the game?" I was like, "Nah, what's going on?" He said, "Man, you need to go back and watch it because Dallas has came back into it and made this thing a contest." So I go back and I start watching the game, and I'm just like, man, here we go again. Kyle Shanahan and his team are about to blow another lead to the Cowboys. But DeMeco Ryans, the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, had a phenomenal game play calling. And I think that if you were giving out MVPs of the game and whatnot, the game ball should have went to DeMeco Ryans. Like, he coached a phenomenal game, and I don't really want to say, like he completely bailed out Kyle Shanahan, but there were moments in that game where that defense for San Francisco came up big. Then on top of that, it also helps that you had the bad clock management by Dallas at the end. You probably could say maybe they deserved another second. I don't really think they did. I think that the clock hit 0. They didn't have enough time to spike it. So you look at DeMeco Ryans going into this game. How is he going to game plan to slow down the bad man that is Aaron Rodgers? Because the Packers defense has been phenomenal all year. And for 49ers fans, you always have to ask yourself this. You know what you are. You are a running football team. You had a lot of success running the football against the Dallas Cowboys last week. But I always ask this. What happens when the run game isn't there? What happens if you struggle out the gate running the football and you have to rely on Jimmy Garoppolo? Jimmy Garoppolo played a solid game last week. Okay, as a matter of fact, I say that he played a pretty good game. But at the same time, the further that the 49ers get in the playoffs, the more they're going to need out of Jimmy Garoppolo. And this game is probably going to be really close. And with this being a close game, this game could potentially be decided based on which quarterback is able to make the bigger throws in the bigger moments. We know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, but what is Jimmy Garoppolo going to do? Now, Jimmy Garoppolo, to his credit, has had some games when he's been very good. He's also had some games when he's been mid, and he's also had some games when he's been really bad. So you don't really know what you're going to get out of Jimmy Garoppolo from a game-to-game basis. And a lot of 49ers fans go back and forth on Jimmy Garoppolo. Some weeks you have a lot of 49ers fans that defend him. Other weeks you have a lot of 49er fans that are ready to get rid of him. And you don't really know what you get from him every game. He's really inconsistent, and that's the large reason why they decided to go ahead and trade for Trey Lance, because you just don't really have the consistency that you would like out of your franchise quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. So how is Jimmy Garoppolo going to perform in this matchup? If he plays well, the 49ers should be able to win this game, because you look at how great their defense is, you look at the pass rush, you look at what they were able to do to the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. And by the way, the Dallas Cowboys have one of the best offensive lines in the whole entire NFL, and they were getting constant pressure on Dak Prescott. That was probably the worst game that the Dallas Cowboys had offensively when you look at how good they've been offensively during the regular season. Dak Prescott completed 55% of his passes, which was one of the lowest completion percentages in his career in the postseason. So the 49ers defense has caught fire as of late. However, when the pass rush isn't there and this secondary is forced to have to hang with receivers a little bit longer in coverage, that's where they can find themselves in trouble. And Aaron Rodgers is also probably one of the hardest quarterbacks to get down. He's really nimble in the pocket. He's a magician. He's able to extend time. So for DeMeco Ryans, he's going to have his work cut out for him. However, if you're the 49ers, you have something to your advantage. I really feel like the run game could be very big if the 49ers can get it going. Now, Green Bay's defense is pretty good. The run defense should be pretty solid. However, I really am a big fan of Elijah Mitchell, the rookie running back out of the University of Louisiana, who they drafted in the 6th round. Like, I feel like he could have a really big game, because when you travel to Lambeau Field, a lot of teams get in trouble because they try to get into a shootout with Green Bay. But I think a key recipe to beating Green Bay at Lambeau Field is being able to have success running the football. When you think about some of the teams that have come into Lambeau Field during the playoffs and have dethroned Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, a lot of the times it's happened because they've had a team that had a great rushing attack, and the run game, if they can get it going, can definitely be huge in this game. And I think a lot of people are overlooking San Francisco, because you look at Green Bay and we say, well, they have Aaron Rodgers and they have Devontae Adams and they have a really good team. But when we look at San Francisco, you know, San Francisco's team is pretty good also. You got Deebo Samuel, you got Brandon Ayuk, who has been really good as of late, you got George Kittle. Like, there is a lot of talent on this San Francisco 49ers team, and the fact that this is a 5.5 point spread favorite in Green Bay's favor kind of surprised me, because I thought the line for this game would be like Green Bay -2 or Green Bay -3. And normally when you have these point spreads that are so low, they normally come down to whichever quarterback is able to make the bigger plays. But with Vegas having Green Bay as a 5.5 point favorite, that shows you that they believe that Green Bay is a pretty more superior team than the San Francisco 49ers, because I want you to look at all of the other point spreads for the other following divisional matchups. You know, like Bills Chiefs is Kansas City -2.5. Okay, you have Bengals Titans. They have Tennessee -3.5. Then you have the Buccaneers, who are a 3-point favorite to beat the Rams. So this is the game that has the largest point spread going in, and that tells you that you look at Green Bay. Green Bay has been consistent all year. Outside of their slip-up week 1 against New Orleans, like, this team, you probably could say, has been the best, most consistent team in the league this year. And you look at Devontae Adams, there's a huge mismatch against the 49ers secondary. So Devontae Adams could be in for a big game, because the 49ers corners right now, they're not really all that great, but they're playing solid football because they're getting assistance from the pass rush. But if that pass rush isn't there, then I have huge questions on the 49ers secondary being able to hang with the wide receivers of Green Bay. So this is a game that we could see Aaron Rodgers have a big time performance. But however, I'm also looking at the matchup of the head coaches. You're going to have Kyle Shanahan and you're going to have Matt LaFleur. Okay, I'm interested in seeing if this is a close game in the fourth quarter, which we all expect it to be. What critical decisions are going to affect the outcome of this game? And you look at the red zone. I think that's going to be really big, because San Francisco has the best red zone offense in the league. You look at the Green Bay Packers, however, they have one of the worst red zone defenses in the league. They'll allow teams to score touchdowns in the red zone 66% of the time. And going into the fourth quarter, I think that could be really big, because let's say the 49ers get inside the red zone, and let's say it's 3rd and goal, or it's like 3rd and inches, or 4th down, and you're going for it to try to keep the drive alive, or you're trying to put points up on the board. I think that Green Bay defense in that red zone is going to have to be able to step up, because when you're playing a team like San Francisco that's predicated on ball control and taking time off the clock, it's really important that you're able to stop them in the red zone and have them taking 3 points instead of 6, because then every possession really matters. So when San Francisco drives down the field and they have like a 7-minute or 8-minute drive and they only come away with a field goal, you know, it's kind of a disappointment, because the downside to having a ball control offense that's predicated on taking time off the clock is that you don't really get a lot of possessions. So for San Francisco, they may get the ball like 7-8 times. You might have 7-8 possessions in this game, and if you only score field goals on 3 of those, and Green Bay on the other hand is able to score touchdowns, then that could be an issue in this game, okay? Now, I also feel like for the Packers, you look at how this 49ers defense has played down the stretch, you got to find a way to make sure that if you can't find a way to keep your offense balanced, which I do believe that the run game for Green Bay could struggle in this game. I'm not expecting Aaron Jones to have a big-time performance. So you look at this game, and the strength of San Francisco's defense, in my opinion, is how good this defensive line is at creating pressure. So if this ends up becoming a matchup where Green Bay has to throw the football downfield, I definitely feel like there's going to be some opportunities for this 49ers defense to be able to get some stops on third down if they can get Green Bay in those third and long situations and activate those pass rushers. Now, the team I'm going to take to win this game, I'm picking the Green Bay Packers. You look at Aaron Rodgers and how this Packers team has played all year. They have been really consistent. They've been really solid. They're going to be well rested, so they should be pretty healed up. You look at San Francisco, they have been playing some of their best football as of late. And when you look at the playoffs, the playoffs isn't really all about who the best team is. Sometimes it's about who's the best team at the moment versus who's the best team overall. And right now, the 49ers are playing really good. They're really hot. But I feel like the Green Bay Packers, with the fact that they're going to have Aaron Rodgers, I think that he's going to be able to make enough big plays to get Green Bay the win in this victory in the fourth quarter, and that's why I'm going with the Packers to win this matchup. You guys let me know who you guys have winning down in the comment section down below if you are watching this on YouTube, and also make sure that you check out the JT Sports Podcast. Every video that is uploaded on the channel is available in audio format on every single podcasting platform: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. The JT Sports Podcast is available.